Man, oh man, Doctor Who seems to be doing really well. Let's take a look at some Commander bangers that'll make waves for centuries to come, brother. Listen, man, life goes by really fast. Don't forget to hug your loved ones out there, dude. If you got a mom out there, just give your mom a big hug or something. I've been doing some other stuff for a couple days, but I'm still in love with Commander and Magic the Gathering, even though she doesn't love me back. I've been picking up some singles from Commander Masters and decided to take a peek at some cards I'm slotting into decks from Doctor Who here, or at least keeping my eyes on. So let's dive right in with my number one pick here. We got the Auton Soldier, dude. Look at this. It's just a gang out there perpetrating some violence, dude. I'm usually against gang violence, man, but when it's a gang of Robert Redfords, I'm in it to win it. 4 blue for an artifact creature, alien soldier, it's a 0/0. You may have Auton Soldier enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it isn't legendary, man. It's an artifact in addition to its other types and has Myriad. It's my number one pick from this set. Imagine making copies of Zealous conscripts out there, or whatever your commander is, man. How about Kodama of the East Tree? That's what I'm slotting this into. How about making some copies of some sweet ETB effects like Belacor or something like that? Belacor, sorry pronunciation brothers out there. There's so many applications of this card. It's a sweet effect on a fairly costed, which is to say a little bit of expensive clone. I love things that make non-legendary copies, and this is bonkers in the right deck. $3 right now. Look at this lady, dude. Looks like Bette Midler out there just shushing ya. 1 blue and a red for River Song. Legendary creature. It's a human Time Lord. It's a 2/2. Has meat in reverse, dude. Don't put my meat in reverse. You know what I'm saying? You draw cards from the bottom of your library rather than the top. Has spoilers on it. Whenever an opponent scries, surveils, or searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on River Song. Then she deals damage to that player equal to its power. I dig this card, man. Kind of just sits there and does some damage, does some stuff, man. And you can do some wild things with cards like Anticipate that put cards on the bottom of your library. You could also build around making your opponent search their library or scry. Seems fun for about $250. Delete, dude. That's good advice. X red for a sorcery. It deals X damage to each non-artifact creature and each player. You gotta delete your damn browser history, dude, before your mom gets home, brother. That's this guy's advice, man. Pretty neat in a Brea deck or an artifact creature deck as a one-sided sweeper. It's a pretty narrow card, but it's only $1, man. Everybody lives, because apparently they all had gas masks on. 1 and a white for an instant. All creatures gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Players gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose life this turn. Players can't lose the game or win the game this turn. Very interesting card, man. This is about $20 right now. Not sure if it's 100% worth $20. In the right decks, this is a cheap surprise that can grant a huge advantage if your opponents aren't expecting it, or all their creatures are tapped and attacking, or they're just about to win the game. This is the card that says, oh, if I only had one more turn, dude, let me show you what everybody does that at the end of the Commander game, and this thing actually lets you do it. This is pretty easily a staple. Not sure if I dropped $20 on it, but, your mileage may vary. I don't know, man. What's up with Doctor Who and Dinosaurs? Is that a big theme of that show? I don't know, man. I never watched the show. You got displaced dinosaurs. They're hanging around Times Square, man. They're probably going to get mugged down there. 5 green for a creature dinosaur. It's a 7/7. As a historic permanent enters the battlefield under your control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature in addition to its other types. Oh my god, dude. So clues, treasures, and foods are all 7/7 dinosaurs now, man. That's pretty bonkers, but I don't think it's $17 good, man. This is super interesting in green decks that lean on artifacts, or your niche saga decks, or your treasure decks, all that kind of stuff. The fact that the dinos don't have haste or evasion kind of holds it back a little bit. It's a pretty awesome card, though. Oh, here come the Cybermen out there looking at your browser history, just giving you old judgment. 7 generic mana for an artifact creature. Cyberman, it's a 5/5. Non-legendary artifact creatures you control have Myriad. Another artifact creature card that can turn your little noxious Gearhulk into a little board wipe. There are so many artifact creatures with ETB. This is going to get pretty crazy with Myriad, man. I like this card, and I like the fact that it's giving this archetype a little boost. Flesh duplicate, dude. This is what my ex-girlfriend called me right before she broke up with me. You're nothing but a flesh duplicate. Blue for a creature shapeshifter. It's a rebel. It's a 0/0. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has Vanishing 3 if that creature doesn't have Vanishing. So this is a 2-mana clone effect, man, and those are pretty rare, dude. 3 turns is an eternity in Commander, man. This is going to sit around forever. This will be around long enough to get the job done. Let me tell you that right now, brother. It's about $7. Quantum Misalignment, 4 and a blue for a sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it isn't legendary, and it has rebound, man. Lots of blue cards here, but this is another effect that creates non-legendary copies of a creature, which is what I like to do, man. These used to be rare effects, but we have 2 in this set alone. It's about $4 right now. I mean, the art is pretty whack, dude. I don't want to look at Martha Stewart all day, just out there judging everybody for not having any dang money. Speaking of gold diggers, you got Wedding Ring out there, 2 white for an artifact. When Wedding Ring enters the battlefield, if it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during their turn, you draw a card, you idiot. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life, you gain that much life. This is a reprint, but it's the first reprint of this card, and tanked the price to about $4. This is fantastic draw for your white decks, my friends. Just plop it on the player with the engine online and draw away. Get married to your friend Kevin, dude, whether he likes it or not. Nanogen Conversion, gonna convert you right into Gene Wilder, brother. 3 and a blue for a sorcery. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn, except it isn't legendary. I think about this for commanders with some static effects like Magnus the Red Man or Lord of the Nazgul. This is super interesting, man, but keep in mind it's a symmetrical effect. All your friends are getting whatever that copy of that creature is as well. So you need to be able to capitalize on that effect. It's a little higher risk, and it's about $4. Alright, now this one is interesting. You got the Flaming Tyrannosaurus, 5 red for a creature dinosaur. It's 5/5 with menace. Has Paradox. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this Flaming Tyrannosaurus is going to deal 3 damage to any target. Then you put a +1/+1 counter on Flaming Tyrannosaurus. When this thing dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. This is a little niche right now, but the casts from anywhere other than your hand decks are getting some powerful tools, and the archetype is getting more fleshed out with every set. That said, listen man, this is a flaming hot Cheeto with a very powerful effect. The last ability can be game ending as well. $3 right now, decent pickup. Reverse the polarity, 1 blue for an instant, choose 1, counter all other spells, or switch each creature's power and toughness until the end of turn. Switch their powers off, brother. Creatures can't be blocked this turn. The first and third options are pretty good, man. You can either use it offensively or defensively. 3 mana is a little bit much to pay for a counter spell, but this one has a couple other options, and I think they're both pretty good. It's a counter spell that counters every spell in the stack, which is more useful in more interactive metas. Decent for about $2. I like this card. I like Grixis Reanimator decks, and this kind of fits right in as long as you're not going for some tribal theme, dude. You got the Star Whale out there, which is what they used to call me before I got shredded, brother. 6 blue for a creature. It's an alien whale. It's an 8/8. So's old Nicky G. Flying, vigilance. Other creatures you control have ward 2. Has suspend for 6. 1 and a blue. Suspend 6 for 1 and a blue. I wish this had some relevant creature types, but this is a decent reanimator target that can help protect your team. This thing is huge, and I can almost feel the whale feeling, brother. Under the waves, just soaking up the ocean vibes, or you can be in outer space, I guess, man. I don't think this card is super good, alright, but I think it's neat. Alright, man, there you have it. This set seems a little powered down to me. The last Universes Beyond decks from Lord of the Rings had some real over-the-top bangers. Warhammer 40k had a bunch of powerful cards, man. But listen, I do like the support for some of the more niche strategies like Suspend, casting from other than the hand, and artifact creatures. So your mileage may vary. You might like some of these cards, or you know what, if you hate them, just rip them up and throw them in the garbage, man. I don't really care. But if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, do all that garbage. It's Nicky G from Better Commander signing off.